performing the libation when the South African people came here. Can't remember how many years ago it was, but I had the pleasure of performing the libation, and our great leader and one who has been so instrumental in the promotion not only of jazz and the connection between South Africa and us, Big Black, G.B.T.V. Yeah. So integral. And so it's indeed a really honor once more to be able to pour libation and pay respect to him and to everyone who is involved, especially CBJC, who's involved in keeping our tradition, heritage, and culture alive. We will do a drum invocation and then pour the libation. And these drums are from South Africa. And they were made specially for me when I visited there in 2002. And they're from the Venda people. We had some more rhythms to play for you, but time is short, and so we want to go right into the libation. To those who do not know, libation is a format in which we pay honor and respect first and foremost to the Creator, Mother, Father, God, to our ancestors, to the Orishas, to the elements. Majuba Olodumare, Ashe? Majuba Igunguns, Ashe? Majuba Bugbo Orishas, Ashe? Umitutu, Onatutu, Elitutu, Oritutu. Tutu Eshu, Tutu Ogun. We give thanks and praises to all of our benevolent and beneficent ancestors. I would like for you to repeat after me. Mujuba, Iya, Tobi me, Asheo. Mujuba, Baba, Tobi me, Asheo. And basically what you've just said is that you've given thanks to the mother that have birthed you, and you've given thanks to the father that have seeded you. Ashe? We want to acknowledge the spirit of Big Black. Yes, indeed. And he's been so instrumental in so many different things. And so it's indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here for this particular occasion. At the same time, I also want to let some of you know, if you don't know, that Grandmaster Cam has transitioned. and his funeral will be on Thursday. And I'll pass some more information on in regards to that. The broom in our tradition is a symbol of unity. And this is one of the things that I did the libation with, to remind us that we must strive to have the unity. And once we stick together, we can only bend, but we cannot break. Today is the first time in pouring libation amongst my family that I would use alcohol. And it's a very special reason today why I'm using alcohol, because alcohol, which we call OT, in the tradition is used as a means to strengthen relationships. And so, as I pour this alcohol and I do what I do, I am asking, my intention is for the relationship between all of us in the diaspora to strengthen. Ashe? Thank you.
Now we're going to recognize all the African protocol. We'd like to recognize Olatunji, Miss Olatunji. And our honored guests from Gauteng province of South Africa, Palani and Bongani Sebeko. And now we have to do some American protocol keeping. You know, this event wouldn't be possible without, first I'd like to thank the membership of the Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium. They could all stand for a minute, putting this together. The membership of the Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium. And putting this program together in the name of our fallen ancestors. Founding Mother, Alma Carroll, founding father, G.B.T.V. Yes, everybody can clap, please. Also, our sponsors, I'd like to really thank Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, and we'll hear from their chairman in just a short minutes for making this event possible here in this beautiful edifice, the gateway to Bed-Stuy, Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. Yes. Food Town of Bedford-Stuyvesant, Focus Marketing, and how about it for probably the finest African restaurant, that's right, George and Yusef, the finest restaurant in the world, right here in Brooklyn, Madiba Restaurant, Mark for Madiba. Yeah, we got it going on here. Yusef, you came the right time. Now, we're going to have a welcome to Brooklyn for all of you. We'd like to invite up our State Senator, Eric Adams, to welcome us to Brooklyn. Mr. Eric Adams, give him a hand.
You know, if only you would know the personal relationship I have with G.B.T.V and what that brother means to me. You know, G2, and I met his son for the first time today. G2, you know, took me during some very turbulent years in my life. He was a teacher, and he said he saw something in me, and he planted a seed in me in at New York City College of Technology. And before he did that, in the G.B.T.V way, he had to give me a little verbal spanking and just bring me back around. So I am who I am because of G.B.T.V. And I just really love him, and he means a great deal to me. And I would see him throughout the years, and he would just hug me and just say, brother, you just keep on keeping on. Let me say this in my welcoming to Brooklyn. I hope next year we're going to be doing this in Borough Hall, you know. That would be a nice little taste. as we see our two great pioneers, both Councilman Al Van, the intellectual giant of this city, and the great Assemblywoman Annette Robinson, who has just joined us also. This thing called music, I've come to appreciate that there are two sides to us. There's the physical presence that we see, and it's imperative that we nurture ourselves with the right nutritional foods and intake that we put in our mouths to ensure that we can have the physical stamina to be who and what we ought to be. But I believe there's another part of us that's a spiritual part, and the anatomy of our spirit doesn't put in a great apple or orange, but it puts in music, and it nurtures us. And the spiritual malnourishment comes when you don't hear the right sound, and if it doesn't resonate throughout you. And I think a lot of people are suffering from spiritual obesity because they're not listening to the right sound. But then it's organizations like these that really held Brooklyn down during the difficult moments. If it wasn't down at the Fort Greene Senior Citizen Center or Sugar Hills and some of the other locations, that jazz resonated throughout this community. And we can't thank Bob Myers and the board and the group enough for what you have done to make sure that we continue to nurture our soul and our spirit. And this is only the beginning. Brooklyn is a destination. And we will be defined not by merely having a center on Atlantic in Flatbush by the Broccoli Center where Barbra Streisand comes and plays and leaves. No, the popularity of our brand is going to turn into prosperity for every neighborhood, every nook and cranny, every block, every avenue. That's what we're going to do in the upcoming years. 2014 is when we will come at a very pivotal period, a pivotal time. And so this welcome is to say welcome to those of us who have always made Brooklyn our home. Welcome to those who are visitors, but it's also a welcome to those who stood and made Brooklyn what it is, as the two great electeds that I mentioned in this great organization. We're on our way to do some great things. And I say it over and over again. Galileo had it wrong when he said Earth was the center of the universe. Brooklyn is the center of the universe, and we're going to make it happen.
Thank you, Eric Adams. You know what? Our borough president, Marty Marquis, could not be with us here today, and I didn't want to take the liberty. Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium member Steve Cromley said I should speak on it, but Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium is a not-for-profit 501(c) organization in the state, Brother Adams.
You got to speak on it.
Yeah, I could speak for Bob Myers and individual members, but we know what we're going to do November 5th. So we're going to ask Mr. Adams to paraphrase this proclamation we received from now Borough President Marty Marquis, if you would be so kind, Brother Adams.
Thank you. Brother Marty. Even when he's not here, he's trying to steal my show. Whereas Brooklyn is the creative capital of New York City and home to many renowned jazz musicians, as well as legendary jazz clubs and venues. It is only fitting that this office celebrates jazz, the music of the spirit, and sings the praises of the talented composers and performers who have helped make jazz into an art form that defines time and transcends cultural, social, and economic differences. And he goes on with great accolades, and he notes, now therefore I, Marty Markowitz, President of the Borough of Brooklyn, do hereby proclaim Sunday, November 3rd, 2013, Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium 14th Anniversary Celebration Day in the city of Brooklyn, USA. I hereto set my hand and signature, Eric Adams, Borough President in waiting.
Present it to our chairman. Please present it to him. Mr. Colvin Granham, we would like to invite you up to the podium for a minute, please. Colvin, yeah. While we got Colvin up here, we're going to ask Mr. Granham. He's been so gracious to be our sponsor here, and has been Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, the Art and Culture Academy, has long been a component of what we do at Central Brooklyn Jazz through our youth activities. So we'd like to, Mr. Colvin Granham, President and CEO of this fine corporation, to welcome us to restoration, if you would, Colvin, for a moment.